Hello, Alexandra. Good evening. I think it's a pleasure to have you in this interview. For everyone who is watching this interview, Alexandra is an ICC certified trainer in Portugal, but most importantly, is one of the ICC global directors that recently joined the board of directors from ICC. So it's a pleasure to have you on this interview and share together few thoughts and ideas during this 30 minutes, or probably 30 minutes ahead.
Thank you so much, Alexandro. It is a pleasure to be connected. And hello, everybody that is listening to us.
Good. So, Alexandra, I propose you to start with a little word game. So, if you will need to define coaching in 3 or 4 words, what those words would be? What's your choices?
Yes, well, coaching is an art, and I would choose probably asking. It's about asking questions to a client.
Yes.
Listening, so that we can process the information. Learning from the sides, yes, from for the client and also for the coach, and developing human beings to be the best. So 4 words: asking, listening, learning, and developing.
Whoa, well, those are really powerful ones. And yes, because coaching is defined these days in many ways, and I like to have some, at least, central ideas of what coaching means. That's really what builds the experience. So, Alexandra, I was reading your profile, what it's written, because I know you since many years now, but I was reading what's written in your profile. So I see you come from the engineering world, the hard world, the world of numbers and formulas. But suddenly what I know from you is that you are really a passionate communicator and coach, and really committed to people development. So my question is, what happened in between? What happened?
Yes, well, when I finished my graduation, chemical engineering at university, I was working at the bridge that connects Lisbon to Almada, and I was working at the precast yard, and I was dealing with all hydraulics. So I had to plan at the office, and then to do the assembling of all the material in the field. Yes. With a team, with a big team. And engineering probably is very good on figures, on calculation, and on planning. But then we need to work with people, to connect with people, to motivate people. And I found out that at university, I was not being taught about motivating people. And it's very easy to connect and disconnect the machine, but not so easy to connect and disconnect people. And I was like, whoa. And so I think it was a need from my work. And I was really able to connect people, to motivate people, because we were working very high on the bridge. And every day we could see 1 meter constructing the bridge.
1 meter per day, yes.
Yes, 1 meter per day. And it was a really good team. A lot of issues, not only oil hydraulics, but also a lot of issues. And I was, I think, the second lady on a very masculine environment.
So another challenge there.
Yes, a big challenge. And I realized that not only being able to process all the issues connected with the materials, and connecting the materials on the field, but also to connect people. And so I jumped from the real bridge to using the human bridge. So that's when coaching appeared, when I thought, well, I can be on the engineering field, maintaining that process, and also doing other bridges, not physical ones, but connecting people to their inner games, to get the best they can be. So I'm also on the human engineering field with coaching, which is wonderful.
Indeed it is. And yeah, so you had there two big experiences. One is to move among, as you say, a really masculine environment. Another is to maybe to change the culture of the way you work, because it's, as you say, you need to build human bridges to make the things happening. So with that experience, you think it would be important for the universities and the educational processes to include this kind of competencies in the career in
Yes,
terms of...
in fact, yes. In fact, the same university where I have my degree invited me to do some models of coaching. So I've now returned to the university, but as a teacher for coaching, which is really, really a good path, because they are realizing that engineering people really need to know how to connect, how to talk, how to motivate people, not just being able to do good planning
Yes,
and do good resource management, but then how to engage people to do
those
what they
plans.
are, yes, what they are expected to do. So I work in several universities in Portugal right now, and well, it's coaching. Coaching is an emergent area,
Mm.
and it is jumping to the leadership world, to the people that work with machines and processes and plants. And so I'm engaged with that. It
It's
makes sense.
it makes sense. So
Yeah.
if you following that line, if I'm an engineer and working on the field with all of these, and not only engineers, I mean all these professions that are outside the soft world, yeah. Um, which are the symptoms, or which are the signals that these people can pay attention to know that they may need the help of a coach, or that there's an opportunity for them to develop certain personal areas? What are the indicators that they can
Yes.
follow?
Well, yes. Taken the example of the projects where I'm integrated as a coach to help them grow and to help them connect the team. I would say that there are some problems with the communication between
Yes,
the leaders and the team members. And so they are very good on doing their reflections, on planning, on doing their projects. But then when it comes to communicate the needs and the reason why the project should go on a certain time to get the deadlines, there are lack of connections. And so they don't know how to communicate with people. They know how to communicate themselves with the figures, with the process
exactly.
arena, but then to connect with others, it's more difficult. So when they ask the help of a coach, they have some symptoms. One of the symptoms is a certain non-ability to communicate and to express the value behind the objectives.
Ah,
Yes, and to motivate people. They say there are a lot of issues that are not correctly done, and so people don't understand me. Is that right, or is that a question of they make themselves clear? So I think coaching could help those people to make themselves clear and to be able to show the importance of everybody working as a team to accomplish common goals.
that's great. Yes, that opens a big field of human development indeed. So, if we come back to you, uh, what could you say? What's the difference that coaching is making in your life nowadays? What's how important is coaching in your life?
Yes, there's a time before coaching and after coaching.
Oops.
Yeah, coaching is the difference that makes the difference in my life.
Mm,
I'm able now to work without expectations on others' behavior, on others' goals, and so it released my life of expectations.
yes,
So I work with a free mind, and everything is possible. We can work with capabilities, with the possibilities. So there are infinite possibilities with coaching, and I'm also able to connect a lot of professional fields. And so it broadened my horizons regarding the industrial world, the business people, and dealing with different people with different dynamics, with different issues to solve. So it really, well, it changed my life. It changed my life because I now fulfill my mission, my purpose as a person and as a professional using the ICC methodology. So people really see results. And I think there is nothing better in life than seeing people happy. And so it is a win-win approach.
Yes.
Like a boomerang. So I'm working to fulfill my mission, and in that way, helping others to fulfill their mission. So I think it's a milestone in my life.
That sounds really great. And if I do a summary, my understanding is that you say that you have kind of new perspectives, seeing the world in a different way, approaching people in a different way, having a relieved emotional life. That's really important. And
Yes.
also connected to transcendence in terms of
Yes.
helping others to succeed or to be the best they can be. And this is really a big mission of coaches.
It's a gift from life also, Alexandro. You can imagine that at the end of the day, after a coaching intervention, I'm not tired. I'm so happy, willing to share the energy that I've got from my work. And wow, I think there's nothing better than that. Not feeling that work is work. Work is being happy. Work is fulfilling mission, is being at the service of others. And so what can I say about coaching? Well, please, go ahead. Coaching.
Indeed. And during these years, you trained a lot of people. I mean, you were with a lot of trainings, different kind of trainings, team coaching trainings or certification trainings, a variety of things. And I guess you saw many people changing their lives as it happened to you. So what could you say that are most significant changes you saw in people during these years? What are the milestones for people you saw these
Well, yes, self-esteem improvements,
yes.
basically. People get more empowered. People get more clarification about what they want and what they do not want. People got other vision about the values, the meaning behind what they want to accomplish. And so people got energized. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs, both men and women, and they started to talk in a more clarified way. They were able to do public speaking. They were able to launch their own companies. They were able to raise performance and to avoid conflict. They were able to connect with the team members and to be an example, an inspiration. So it's really, really tangible. Coaching, when we do coaching interventions, either in companies doing a team coaching intervention or certification of people,
yes.
we see that it is really highly transformational. It's life-changing. And we can see, yes, we can see in people's eyes. It's something like they
shining.
Yes, they are shining, and they say, now I know who I am. So it's like getting into the deepest self.
Yes.
Understand what is important and what is not so important, and people decide, and so they define their path, and that's a great result for coaching when people
Absolutely.
really, yes, wake up in the morning and they say, wow, one more day to fulfill my mission, to get the team members the best they can be, to be a better leader, to be a better person, to be a better father, mother, and also wife and husband. So
yes.
It's like a cascade. It attends all the areas of our life.
It's that it's great. And thinking on people who may be watching, what are the approaches they can have in order to live such experience? I mean, do they need to be trained as coaches to experience those kind of things, or they can just go through a coaching processes, or what are the options people might have to go through this?
Yes, well, it depends on people wishes and what people want from coaching. If you want to be a professional and helping others with a very structured and very dynamic and very powerful process, you can do an ICC certification. It is worldwide known and recognized with the European Quality Award. And so if you want to be a professional, it's good you engage an ICC certification, yes, to get the skills, to get the knowledge, to get an attitude, to get the structure, and so to get the methodology and to train a lot, to do a lot of practice. And if you want to, well, do a reflection, and to know what resources do you have, what are the values behind your goals, what are your limiting beliefs, and to, well, do a better time management, a better connection with the team, a better self-management as a person, you can go through a team coaching intervention or an executive coaching intervention. You don't need to be a professional on the coaching field. You can just receive coaching as a methodology, and it will certainly help you see new things and also see things anew. So it's life changing, it's business changing, and you can engage in a coaching process to reach higher levels of performance and also higher levels of peace, inner peace. Because you clarify what you want and you clarify the meaning of things. Why are you doing things? Why are you avoiding other things? So it's two different perspectives.
It's great. And then is it coaching a very long process? I mean, for people who, I'm a leader. Suppose I'm a leader, I'm managing, I have a lot of people to manage and I want to do these things and I'm in the hurry of making the things happen, but I need a personal processing to do that. Does it take too much time? How long it takes this kind of transformation?
Well, to have results, the coaching process needs the commitment of the client.
Yes.
Yes, so we cannot say, well, I will coach you and you just need 4 sessions because it's guaranteed. We cannot say that. Yes, who can guarantee the results is the client, him or herself. Because when you have the wish as a client,
yes,
and you are engaged in the coaching process, you will be the one that will determine how long the coaching process will take. Of course, we have some ideas because we have a lot of practice.
Yes.
And we could do some statistics, of course. But well, I could say that you can have an executive, for instance, having a great insight in 1 session, or it depends on the issue. It depends on the motivation. It depends on what the person wants. And you could have an executive that could reach results on 4 sessions, 6 sessions, 8 sessions of 2 hours each. And regarding teams, the projects that I plan to approach companies, we normally give 4 days of team coaching to start seeing people doing the movement of changing what is not at the levels they want, so that they can leverage their action into the right path, using their own resources. And so I could say that, well, executive coaching, for instance, it's just an average idea. I could do a process of 4 months to 8 months with an executive, and with team coaching, yes, the same. But it depends on the rhythm, it depends on the commitment. And I never say to a client that, well, I guarantee that you in a certain time you will get results. I always say the results you will get depends on your wish, on your will, on the way you see resources, and on your commitment to get results.
Yes.
Because yes, that is in control of the client's hand. And on the responsibility of the coach, we assure total commitment. And when I work with you, I'm just focused on you to be the best I can, so that I can also facilitate a work where you will see your first best. And then you choose between the old fashion of doing things
or the new possibilities.
The new possibilities. always using the force that there is in the client, their own resources. And so it's like a partnership, yes?
Yes.
And the time, I would say, depends.
That's a good answer. Alessandra, it's been said that sometimes happen in organizations that they invest a lot of resources in training, but the people gets kind of inspired by the training process, but then in time the competency does not appear, that's not show up in the results. Is that so, and how can coaching help to those scenarios as a complement to training processes?
Yes, well, coaching is different from training.
Yes.
Yes, when you have training, you have a trainer that knows something in a certain field.
Yes.
And he will give some answers based on his own experience. And when you are on the coaching field, you will just ask questions, use some tools to help reflection and exploration of resources and some issues. And then you will be doing that based on the client's experience. So we can imagine that there are certain times where training is better.
Yes.
For instance, if you have a new machine to a production line and you need to get those guys from, well, the expertise world from that machine. So coaching is not adequate methodology. But when you talk about how can I be more motivated, how can I improve my communication to clarify what I want in meetings of a project, for instance, how can I be able to express myself without fear? Then coaching is a good methodology, and it really helps companies to transform the way they see performance in teams, because when you are working with a team and you are using, yes, the energy, the resources, the feelings, the strategies, and all the force that exists in the team, they like it because they feel useful. They feel, well, we are not being taught what to do. We are being asked how to use in a proper way the resources we already have to reach high results. So it's like the power you use is the power of the team. That's why coaching works. And people don't reject it. People really like, wow, well.
They like
yes.
it. Yes, I think that's a good way in order to build purpose for people, in order to be the orientation and direction for them. So that's a good way.
Yes, and Alexander, when I start a team coaching intervention, for instance, I always say, well, please appreciate your company, because your company is investing on you.
In you, yeah.
In you, because they recognize there is talent. And coaching is about releasing the talent that you find in the team. And so they stop their daily work, and they get together to realize where they are, the present state, and where they want to be, the desired state. And as a community, they work together to find the better way to reach their goals, finding values, finding resources, exploring the ecology. Okay, what are the gains, what are the losses, what are the impacts on the stakeholders? And so they really do things. They decide, they talk, I think they work their hidden agendas. And the hidden agendas, sometimes there are rejections, sometimes people don't talk to the chief or to the leader. And so all those kind of things are treated and are taken care, and the power is in the team. And so the team starts to grow on their fashion, on their pattern, on their rhythm, and it's really great. And the coach helps them to do the best they can be, without judgment, without criticism, with understanding, with patience, and with powerful questions for they to think in a better way. So it's modeling thinking and putting things into action. Coaching is a very practical intervention because they need to create experience, and a new experience to change results. Otherwise, we'll get the same as usual. But coaching helps them to do that journey.
Yes. Alessandra, so we are talking right now about coaching. We did during the full interview. So if you could say, what's the thing you like the most from coaching? You mentioned a lot of them, but if you need to pick one element from coaching, what it would be and why you like it the most?
Mm-hmm. I really appreciate when people say,
the insights.
The insights, yes. And they say, wow, it's wonderful because I'm thinking better, I'm feeling better, and I'm seeing things better. And now I can change my reality.
Yes.
That's the key point for me. And well, it's wonderful because I work based on 3 levels: with love, with humor, because I'm a very humorous person.
I know.
Yes. I use a lot of metaphors.
Yes.
And then to add value. And so these 3 elements, with love, which means respect, and being happy to work with people, because people are very different from us.
Yes.
So accepting others. With humor, which is, well, we also have fun during the works, which is wonderful. That's a way of engaging people.
Absolutely.
And then adding value. People at the end of an intervention, they say, wow, it is really, really a good investment of our time because we really got a lot of resources. So when they say, the aha moments for me are the best.
Are the best. Good choice. I like that. And it's also, in my opinion, the opportunity to build a different future after the insight, because
yes.
Something happened inside. So it's good. It's good. I like that one. So, Alessandra, I would spend hours talking with you in this interview, but we have a kind of time frame for this to happen. So I would like to go into the 2 final questions. The first is related to tools or complementary aspects that a coach can use. There are assessment tools, diagnostic tools, some things that are used during the process. So why you think those tools are important, and or are those things important to be a good coach?
Well, you don't need to have a DISC certification or MBTI or Cultural Transformational Tool certification that I have. You don't need to have that to do a good coaching.
Yeah.
Because when you do coaching without those psychometrics assessments or psychometric tools, you are the tool. The coach is a great tool. When you have those tools, you can have a perspective, because psychometrics give answers to the client based on the client's experience.
Yes.
Yes, so you can use that as having information, but it's not so, I would say, with doing coaching without those assessment tools, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's like any other issue. As much as you are growing your knowledge on something, you can enrich the session. But you must explain that those psychometric tools, that is not coaching. That is a tool that we can add to the coaching process.
So if I
use them, yes.
If I understand you well, it's kind of another source of insights for the client. It's a possible source of insights for the client or discovery.
Yes, I think it is an helpful hand for the client's mindset.
Yeah.
Yes. So, for instance, people from the mathematics area, engineering, management, they really like to see reports about them and to see what kind of models and where am I in this model. Yes, regarding behavior like this, regarding personality, yes, like the MBTI, or regarding values like the Cultural Transformational Tool from Richard Barrett. And I use those tools to help me doing the coaching process, but sometimes I don't use it, and the process is great anyway. So it depends on what the client really values. And if he values receiving some reports
Then they are
of
fine.
yes, it's fine. They are recognized tools worldwide, and so it's a mean just to engage the clients to a better self-knowledge regarding behavior, personality, and values. But
That's right.
if you do coaching without those tools, it's great anyway. So you don't need to have those tools. But if you have, you are richer.
Yeah, that's
As a,
a good perspective on those.
yeah.
So my final question is related to the current and future state of coaching. You recently became an ICC Global Director, and the ICC vision is coaching the world. What does it mean to you, and what do you like to see in the next years as a result of coaching around the world?
Yeah. Well, ICC is growing. We are getting bigger, and my vision for the ICC is aligned with the board, the former board. So with Joseph Ocon, Andre Lage, and yourself, because I believe in the values behind what we are doing.
Yes.
We really want, yes, we are really committed with a better world. What does it mean? It means that we are going to work on behalf of people development, and we are at the service of others to help them grow. And so, as I said, it's like a boomerang. So what I see coaching entering in Africa, yes, in a larger extent,
Yes.
in Europe, yes, in Latin America, and we're all around the world, and basically in some projects connected with educational coaching. At the end of this month, I will be engaged in a project regarding education. So we're talking about kids and students because they are the future generations.
Yes.
And I think that for the ICC, I have a long-term vision, which is improving the way coaching is known worldwide, because there are sometimes some misleading information about what is coaching and what is not coaching.
Yes.
And so I think the ICC has this great role of also explaining what coaching is by doing coaching and by certifying people, and also improving some trainings to get, well, as you see with the academy.
Yes.
Yes, let people do learning, yes, about coaching, about other areas. And I think that the ICC is engaged of being one of the greatest worldwide coaching organizations, engaging the best people with the best results, with ethics, standards of high quality. And I think that this is what is defining the ICC. I can say, I can talk about my experience in Portugal. Big companies, multinational companies, they are asking for ICC coaches. Yes. So there is a concrete awareness that the ICC provides good expertise and ethical and qualified, really good coaches. Yes, professional coaches. And that's my vision, to help, as with my contribution, to engage in new projects, and also doing some projects regarding volunteering, because as a community, yes, we have a sense of belonging to a better world, and part of that can be helping people that don't have resources to buy coaching projects.
Yes.
And we can also go that way. And also, of course, always improving people's lives and to help people get the best they can be, and have they can be very happy to be alive and also to be occupied, helping yes, other people. Yes, with a good methodology that really helps others to fly. Well, is there any thing better than this? I don't think so. So coaching is my arena. I'm very happy to meet all these wonderful trainers of the ICC, the founders of the ICC, working with you also, that you give a lot of support to everybody. And we need to recognize that, and also recognizing the coaches that are being certified. Yes, and they are really doing a good job, and helping transform families, helping to transform companies, and helping to transform their cities and their countries. So that's we have a lot of evidences of that, and ICC is engaged with that, to give the best we can do, and also to receive from them. So it's a very good balance between take and give.
Yes,
And we
indeed.
are, yes, working for this equilibrium.
Yes. Nothing to add to that. It's a wonderful summary. Then, Alessandra, I want to thank you once again for sharing this inspiring interview, to share your thoughts, your perspectives, your experience, to talk to me and to all people who's watching the interview. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to share with you the work together in the board and ICC. So nothing else than a big thank you, a big hug from Argentina to Portugal, and I leave you with the final words if you want to say something to our friends watching this interview.
Well, what I can say, I will thank you so much for being attentive to this interview, and also to want to change your inner game to a powerful one, and to help others do the world a better place to live, and think about the generations yet to come. It's my vision. It's about preparing the world and being at the service of a better environment for our kids, the
Yes.
future generations that will govern the world. So coaching is a very good means to achieve that.
Many thanks, and until our next interview and conversation. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Alexander, for the opportunity. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.